La virtud central a cultivar en el camino de la unidad es la empatía.
Pero no tan solo como actitud cotidiana de amabilidad hacia las personas,
sino también reconociendo y comprendiendo las distintas sabidurías que existen a nuestro alrededor.
Mirar el mundo a través de una perspectiva más amplia
nos aleja de miedos infundados, juicios egoístas y posturas rígidas,
permitiéndonos conocer de mejor forma el espíritu humano y por ende lo que realmente somos, unidad.
Por eso te invitamos a Caminos. La primera vez que escuché hablar de los Yezidis fue hace ya varios años. En una escena de la película Encuentros con hombres notables, un joven y atónito Gurdjieff miraba la tortura que unos niños propinaban a otro. Ese otro era un niño yazidí, atormentado ya que no podía abandonar un círculo dibujado en el suelo. Era un cuadro inquietante y dejaba sugerir entre líneas que existía un pueblo con costumbres insólitas, una secuencia que de manera tenue insinuaba la lejanía de ese otro extraño llamado Yazidí. Con el tiempo, algo leí sobre Melek Taus, y como siempre, aparecían en los artículos el prejuicio. Con el tiempo, surgió la guerra en Siria e Irak, y las dolorosas imágenes de campos de refugiados, ejecuciones y largas marchas de miles de inocentes. Un día de agosto del 2018, vi en una librería un texto que me resultó interesante por su portada. Había una mujer cuyos ojos me llamaron de inmediato la atención. Al acercarme al libro, con sorpresa me di cuenta de un detalle que lograba distinguir por conocimientos previos. En su pecho había un collar con un pavo real. Era Melek Taus, y por tanto, ella debía ser yazidí. Ese pueblo casi desconocido del que había escuchado y que era muy mal interpretado. Tras su lectura, me parecía sorprendente por su cosmología, cultura y por su resistencia contra la barbarie del Estado Islámico. El relato de Nadia Murad es la historia de su cautiverio y el horror que padeció junto a su pueblo a manos del Daesh. Muchos siguen esclavizados por aquellos genocidas. Por ello, el relato de Nadia es un camino que nos lleva a despertar la empatía y se levanta como testimonio en defensa de no solo el pueblo yazidí y la mujer, sino incluso la dignidad del género humano ahora. Poco tiempo después, el Premio Nobel de la Paz recaía en ella durante 2018. Vale recalcar que el 15 de agosto de 2014, la vida de Nadia cambió para siempre cuando las tropas del Estado Islámico irrumpieron en su pequeña aldea yazidí al norte de Irak. Lo que ocurrió después es devastador y desde su vivencia, conmovedor. Más sabiendo que con todo el dolor que ha quedado, hoy Nadia es una activista y una mujer admirable que invito a conocer y a seguir, como a muchos otros yazidíes que trabajan incansablemente por mostrarnos que al final, y en realidad, no existe un otro. Tal es el caso de Gili Khalaf, profesora, activista, cofundadora y vocera de Yezidis International, asociación creada para preservar y difundir su cultura y apoyar a los refugiados yezidíes que han sido desplazados de sus hogares. Su enorme esfuerzo honra a nuestro canal Caminos, agradeciéndole enormemente la posibilidad de conversación sobre el universo yazidí, que es también nuestro.
Okay, question one. Who are the Yazidi people? Yazidis are an ethno-religious minority group that number about 1 million people worldwide right now. They are indigenous to an area that used to be called Mesopotamia, that is southeast Turkey, part of Iran, western Iran and Iraq, and also parts of Syria. Yezidis venerate Taus, God, and saints. They even have regard for the sun. Will even take oath by the name by sun, the moon, and all those places that are associated with our semi-divine being, which are similar to saints and patron saints. In Yazidism, in a sense, everything is divine, and because it's, in a sense, part of God, according to our creation myth, which says God created a pearl from his own essence, from his emanation, and this pearl burst, and from there the sun, the earth, and all other natural bodies were created, and this led to human creation and the natural world. Taus is one of our angels that were created from God's light. He was rewarded the title of peacock angel, or the head angel, because he was one of the first one to kind of sense that there was something, a greater power, and he was the first to know of existence of God. Yazidis kept their ancient faith and refused to convert. They became a big target for those who were greedy, wanted power, or were in religious positions and believed it was their duty to make people follow the right path, right religion, which for Middle East it was Islam. It is easier for one person to attack another if you give them dehumanizing labels. We see this happen in war all the time. We see when one religion ends up coming to being and wanting to take over and convert people. You have to first give them labels in order for you to justify your attacks. We've seen Hutus and Tutsis in Rwanda genocide being called tall trees. Let's cut down the tall trees, the cockroaches. ISIS and Islamic communities attacked Yazidis and called them infidels, disbelievers, devil worshippers. But I guess it's a natural human thing to do. We even see this within families and within our justice system, where people are in prison system will be called criminals. Then if you call them criminals, it's easier to deal with them in certain ways that you would otherwise not do it, and so on. Yazidis kept their religion, and they began being accused of worshipping more than one god, which is a big offense in Islam. When Yazidis paid regard to their saints and paid regard to the angels who were made from God's light, they began accusing them of creating a partner for God, not focusing their energy on one God. And again, this is a big sin in Islam, and as a sin, some of those people who had the power, like the Ottoman Empire with its sultan, they felt it's their duty to bring Yazidis to the right path. When Yazidis try to adapt some of their beliefs as a defense mechanism, such as picking up beliefs that Taus is the head of angel and not same as Lucifer, and like the Sufi said, he was the true monotheist, they trap themselves more into having their angel, the head angel, Taus being associated with Iblis or Lucifer, and from there they began being called devil worshippers. Some of the biggest problems that the human race face, that we as a society face, is labels. And we tend to label everything and use those labels to define us, to become our identity. For example, we will say, if I come from Iraq, I'm an Iraqi. If I come from this family, I am a Khalaf. If I am of this religion, I'm going to say I am Catholic. And what this ends up doing is that we end up getting too attached to those labels, thinking that if there is any criticism or attacks on it, is a personal attack on ourselves. And we don't let things evolve. We don't use our energy to make changes so that whether it's a country, a religion, or whatever, it's serving humans. It's serving us. We get too caught up on it being a personal attack. Instead, there is this belief in Yazidism, which says everyone is a soul. They are made up of a body and a soul. The body returned to the earth to be part of the matter, and the soul reincarnates. All humans are body, but also a soul. They are a soul who are born today, maybe as a male, a female, black, white, Iraqi, Egyptian, or whatever. Tomorrow, when you reincarnate, when your soul reincarnates, it could be in another race, another color, another gender, another place. In that way of thinking, we are all equal. Another idea, belief in Yezidism, is regard for the nature. This is also part of question 5. Humanity is having a lot of issues because of the abuse of nature, whether it's air pollution, water pollution, deforestation, and we are constantly seeing the consequences of that. A Yazidi belief that could help relieve the humanity of that, if applied and encouraged and supported, is the belief in the sacredness of nature. Yazidis still believe that there are 4 sacred elements. It's air, water, earth, and fire, and all those are still used in their rituals. In every ritual, more than one of these are used there, and they have few taboos that kind of make sure that they are viewing it as a sacred element. During their holidays is all about the cycles in nature, changes in nature. It's acknowledging it, it's marking it, whether it's winter solstice, summer solstice, the equinoxes. And during one of them, their new year, Charsham, it's the celebration of renewal of life and earth and nature, as well as commemoration of the creation. During that celebration and that whole month of April, they are supposed to be observing the nature and the world come to life, and so they will have taboos where there's no plow on the land, there is no milking the goats and cows or whatever, because at that time nature is supposed to be given regard, and it's supposed to feed the babies and let them grow, and after a certain period of time, then their milk could be consumed by humans. Brides are not supposed to get married because, again, the biggest bride of that month, the best one, is the Mother Earth, and as it comes alive and the snow melts and the world come alive with trees, flowers, and so on. Yazidi year is filled with holidays. We have at least 10 different holidays, and many of them are spent and celebrated in a communal way. For example, the Yezidis fast, which falls during winter solstice, the whole community gathers at some hall and we celebrate it together. The New Year, which falls in April, also the community is celebrated together through communal dances, eating, picnicking, and so on. As a community that does not accept conversion into the religion, this makes me not only be not have the need to push my religion onto others, it lets me hold my own beliefs without feeling a need to convince others that my way is the correct way, while showing curiosity and maybe even celebrating with friends. At the same time, I'm tolerant of it and hold on to our way. There's different requirements in Yazidism, such as having a sibling of hereafter, being connected to a few priestly families. There's for male children, during their circumcision, they gain this bond with the person that they're doing the circumcision in their lamb, and it's like a God. Some of the beliefs that I practice in my everyday life, or the Yazidis hold, is the belief in souls being eternal. This kind of makes one look at death in a different way. If your soul is going to be reborn, it also answers a lot of questions about who are we and why things are the way they are. For example, why is it certain people we feel certain connection with immediately? Well, if there is a belief in eternal soul, then maybe in previous lives we have come in contact with those people and had beautiful relations. So while in this body, the body does not remember, our memory does not remember, the soul remembers, and there is instant connection with them. Why is it that certain people, we say we hate them and have no idea why, but we know that we just dislike them? It's the similar idea that previous life, previous meeting, and the soul remembers, although our memory might not remember. It also explains a lot of concepts like love, soulmates. How is it that we have a tendency to love somebody so much, or think of them in such a way where we feel like we are same values, same way of thinking? Again, it could be a lover, or it could be a person that you feel strong connection with because in previous lives you've had beautiful relations, and immediately the souls recognize each other. Why is it that certain people have they're only 1 or 2 or 3 years old, very young, and they are showing talent, whereas someone might have practiced an instrument or done so much practice for 50 years and not have the same amount of talent? And again, it's due to the fact that it was something that the soul was familiar with from previous lives. So those kind of beliefs that we live by or hold is due to the belief that human soul is eternal. Everything else might go away and back to earth and become one of the elements, but the soul remains and returns. As the signs say, nothing created and nothing is destroyed. So the soul is not destroyed in the human body. It just changes form. It returns to earth in a different form. Yazidis have been in active genocide for the past 5 years, since August 2014, and now they are spread over 4 continents: North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. If you take into consideration the fact that there are only 1 million people, then you will realize how difficult then it would be to preserve their culture and their heritage, whether it's language, practicing their religion, especially since they are away from their shrines and their community. When it comes to holidays, it's not going to be celebrated the same. Many of our holidays involves going to the shrine and having celebrating as a community. It's a communal gathering, and now that we are scattered all over the world, it becomes almost a war that is not only killing our members, but it's also taken away from us our heritage, culture, language, and so on. There are still 3,000 Yazidi women and children who are in captivity, even though ISIS is over in Iraq, and the last of them have been destroyed in Syria. We have not, like, there's no trace of those who are still in captivity for the past 5 years. Yazidis, 500,000 of them that are living in Iraq are living in terrible conditions. About 400,000 of them are still living in camps and considered displaced people. They do not have access to education, safety. Those who are in camps, the kind of education that they're getting is just elementary and maybe middle school, but the quality of it is terrible. So its entire generation is growing up not knowing what a normal life is, what it means to go to school and live in a safe environment. They are away from their own villages and towns, and when they have tried to go back, there's internal conflicts. We have 2 different governments who are fighting over who's going to control the Yazidi region. So the Iraqi government and Kurdistan government are fighting over it. There's many different political groups who are in the region who also want dominance and authority. So it becomes dangerous for Yazidis to return back to their homes, and as they live in camps that are extremely cold to live in wintertime, extremely hot in the summertime, the situation becomes worse and worse. As things stand, it does not feel like Yazidis have a future in Iraq unless there becomes international communities start intervening and also take bigger roles to preserve their heritage, but safety for them comes first. Otherwise they will continue migrating out of the country. So far about 100,000 Yazidis have immigrated to Europe as refugees, taking really dangerous routes such as going in inflatable boats to cross the Mediterranean Sea to make it into Greece and other European countries. If Yazidis leave their homeland, then it could possibly mean another kind of genocide, a genocide that does not involve shooting and killing, but it will mean the end of their own heritage. Any faith group, any community, any person who is living a lifestyle that's different from us who are holding beliefs that are different from us are worthy of our respect and regard if they're not harming anybody. As long as they're not harming, then they should be left alone. Diversity is what making our world beautiful, and we want to maintain that. Another thing, sometimes we feel so strongly about our own beliefs and way of life that we cannot see any other way of being right. But if you truly want to show how beautiful your way is, and you want people to see it the way you are seeing it, then the best way to advertise your beliefs is through the way that you live it. So if you're being compassionate, tolerant, then maybe I will be interested in your own ideas, and I might come approaching you instead of you forcing me, committing, showing how intolerant you could be of others. I think the biggest service you could do for your own beliefs, your own religion, and for our world to maintain its diversity is by advocating for those who are living differently from us, believing differently from us, and especially if they're harmless.